I think if people could really grasp the power of the internet, they would drop everything they're doing right now today and learn as much about it as they could. There's 1.5 billion users on the internet right now.
But you thought saving money made you money.
If you take a look at this 40-year run on the dollar is designed economically to lose money every single year. So why would you save something that loses money every year? And what this means for somebody on retirement plans is that after you retire, the value of your dollar goes down and your cost of living keeps going up. To my rich dad, that was bad advice and made no sense.
Call it networking,
affiliate marketing,
direct selling,
referral marketing.
Call it whatever you want. It's already a $100 billion a year business.
So let me just tell you, I appreciate so much you taking intros for me and your service to the community. Obviously, you and I go back a ways at this point, and it's been more than just a lucrative relationship. It's been a very fulfilling friendship as well, Brian. So thanks so much, man. Folks, welcome to the $1 Million Game Plan call. I am so excited to be here with you guys. I love this call. It was a call not unlike this. That's November 21st, 2008. I remember it. I mean, gosh, I remember it like it was yesterday. So what's that? Over 2.5 years, going on 3 years now. It was a call like this that changed my life. That gave me what literally turned out to be $1 Million Game Plan. More than $1 million game plan, as it were. And at the time, I sure needed it. I was head over heels, if that makes sense, in over my head in debt. More debt than I knew what to do with, and then I thought I'd ever be able to pay off in my lifetime. So I'm going to tell you more about that. You're going to hear about some other amazing stories here, and exactly, more importantly, you're going to hear exactly how we do this, how this system works, what's provided to you, what was provided to me, what was provided to the other people you're going to hear who have used this system to have some amazing results, and how we put it into action every day in our businesses. First, I need to get some sort of general stuff out of the way. A couple things I have to state. First of all, no incomes are represented or guaranteed in any amount for any participant. Some associates will earn no money at all in this program. No person earns any income solely for enrolling others in the program. The only required purchase to participate in the program is an at-cost new associate online business development kit, which you're going to learn about. No purchase of product is required for participation in the program at any level. This program is not endorsed by any federal, state, or local agency. All examples are for illustration and explanation purposes only. Any experience shared may be unique to the individual sharing them and should not be taken as assurances of success for others. Results of participation may vary widely. And most importantly, before we get started with tonight's presentation, folks, please, whatever you do not run with scissors in your hands. The point being, this is common sense. This is business. This is entrepreneurship. You can Google entrepreneurship success statistics and see what the stats are on starting your own business, whether it's brick and mortar business, traditional business, service business, sales business, online business, and see what the statistics are for entrepreneurs and where they're likely to be in 5 years. What Carbon Copy Pro does and what it's designed to do is improve the odds. It's to give you as many tools, as many forces in your favor by giving you proven, basically things that have already worked for other people and worked in a very big way so that you can carbon copy them exactly. But that doesn't mean that Carbon Copy Pro can completely eliminate the risk of being an entrepreneur. That would be too good to be true. So that said, before we get into the system, I do want to take a moment and tell you a little bit about myself. I mentioned that in 2008, I was in quite a bit of debt. I had actually about a year, almost 2 years prior to that, 2006 is when I started the process of opening my own franchise restaurant. And actually was one of the youngest people to ever land a multi-unit development deal for a major national franchise. And I actually got a deal to open 10 franchises in this Houston, Texas area where I'm from. I put together some investors, and I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and this was my big score. I really thought that I was going to, hit it big, and ended up basically, we only got 2 stores open out of the 10 that were planned. Took about a year and a half, and then fall of 2008, middle of the recession, price of oil dropped from about $140 a barrel to $60 a barrel, which for me in Houston, Texas, which is an energy-driven economy, basically meant that all big companies in the area stopped spending money. And we were doing about 40% of our business delivering lunches to offices. They all stopped ordering. In 2 weeks, our business dropped 40%. 2 months later, we were out of business. When everything shook out, my personal credit was on the hook for over $300,000. At that point, I was 28 years old. I'd had some success, some trials to that point, but that certainly more than wiped out any success I'd had to that point as an entrepreneur, and really didn't just put me back at square one, put me back at square negative. $250,000 bank loan, $50,000 in taxes. I was getting sued by the banks. I was getting calls by the U.S. Treasury, harassment. It was one of those disaster business credit nightmares. And that was where I was when I found Pro on November 21st, 2008. And I ended up on, which was a Thursday, and I ended up on a call like this the following Monday. So I guess that was the 25th of November. And just really have never looked back. I took it, I ran with it. I did everything that I was told to do every step of the way. And I had my debt, that $300,000 debt was erased in just over a year. And in the year and a half since then, it's allowed me to create a very nice life for myself, and as it has for so many others. So I personally, I do this call because I feel such a huge debt of gratitude to Pro. I want to share it with as many people as possible. So let's talk a little bit about what Pro is. Pro is the world's leading internet marketing education company. It's combined with a powerful marketing system and a product line that is designed to empower entrepreneurs to go out and earn a substantial income as quickly as possible. People are searching for the tools and know-how to create alternate forms of income like never before, or in my case, to create any income whatsoever. There's a lot of reasons why people, are looking for something like Pro. We could probably do a survey of everyone on the line and hear a couple hundred of those reasons, whether it's unemployment, employment, anxiety, retirement, you're going to outlive your money kind of deal, depleted investments, real estate, stocks. I mean, everything's taken a hit. There's, a host of reasons why people are here. But the bottom line is, what you need to know is people are looking for this. There are more people looking for this than there are people looking for just about anything in the world. Probably the only thing that people actually seek out more on a daily basis than how to make more money, or how to make some money, or how to, get their ship turned around is maybe how to, maybe food. I mean, people are looking for that 3 times a day. They're looking for this about that much. And that's the amazing thing. And the internet gets us in front of all of those people. And Carbon Copy Pro teaches you how to do it. But here's the deal. Carbon Copy Pro is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is not easy money. I know as an entrepreneur, now I've been an entrepreneur now for 15 years. I was 17 when I started my first business. Entrepreneurship is work. It's a lot of work, and this is no different. It keeps you up at night. It's going to stretch you out in some cases as much as it's going to lift you up. But at the end of the day, for me and for us, for those of us in this community who've taken control of our own lives, entrepreneurship is the only way to live. Because at the end of the day, somebody has the power in your life. Is it you? If you're an entrepreneur, it is. And that feeling is worth all the money in the world. But you have to be willing to work. So what Carbon Copy Pro does is create what we call a self-funded solution. The deal in most types of business, and I can relate this to my franchise restaurants is it costs a lot of money to start a business. And then, like in the restaurant business, they would say, well, you're going to need a year of operating capital before you can expect to make any money because, you open the door and not everybody's going to flood in. You got to pay the bills, pay the employees, keep the lights on, pay the, buy the inventory, whatever, while you're building a following, while you're building up your business. And that always takes twice as much money as people think. And that's just the nature of starting a business. It's expensive because nobody's paying you to do it yet. Well, most of us, frankly, when we're out looking for something like Pro, we're not in a position to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars. My 10 stores that I had, raised the money, if we had seen that plan all the way through, I would have, had $3 million invested in opening 10 sandwich shops, $300,000 per store. Obviously it wasn't all my money. It's a lot of bank money, but then you're on the hook. You got to sign a 5-year lease. When the stores went out of business, I still had 4 years left on 2 leases at $4,000 a month in my personal name. Everything's done on a personal guarantee these days. So what Carbon Copy Pro does is create what we call a self-funded solution, where in the process of starting the business, there are little incremental things you can do as you set up your business that start bringing money in very quickly so that you're not getting so far behind that you end up playing catch-up for years like you do in traditional business. In most franchise companies, they teach you that you should not expect to put any money in your pocket for 3 to 5 years until your bank loans are paid off. I would say in this business, you should expect to be putting money in your pocket certainly within 3 to 5 months, if not faster than that. So how does it work? I want to tell you about, the company, the system, the education, the business model, the product line. Products are so important if you're going to be, building an online business. What you market is every bit as important as how you market. And we're going to be doing a special promotion just for the folks on this call tonight. So, stay tuned, listen to the whole call because at the end we're going to be telling you how you can get started with some really cool perks and bonuses that nobody else gets except through this call. And before we go into that, though, I want to ask you an important question. I want you to close your eyes and really, really ponder the answer to this question. What would your life look like if you didn't worry about money? What would your life look like if your spouse didn't worry about money? What would your life look like if your kids knew, or your grandkids knew that if they needed something, you could provide it for them, no questions asked? How does that feel? And not only the money. What are you doing every day if you're not having to go to work every day to put money in someone else's pocket? What are you doing if you own your time? How does that feel? Whether it's going to Disneyland because you want to, whether it's going to volunteer at the church, the local, your local homeless shelter, whether it's kicking back and watching Real Housewives in New Jersey because you just want to be self-indulgent for a day and you can. How does it feel to just have that monkey off your back? I know how it feels, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you how good it feels. You know how good it would feel. I just want you to think about it because that feeling, that's what's going to drive you to do the work. If you're serious about this, there's going to be times when you go, frankly, this is tougher than I thought. I'm actually having to learn something. I feel like I'm going back to school. I feel like I'm not an expert. Most of us go to work every day and we're an expert at whatever we do because we've been doing it for 10 years. We've been doing it for 20 years. This is going back to school. This is going back to kindergarten. You're learning online entrepreneurship. That's completely foreign to most of us. It was completely foreign to me. I've been making sandwiches for a year. And it's that feeling, it's knowing where you're going, where you're headed, that you're going to get to a place where you have this sense of freedom and empowerment. That's what's going to push you through those times when you feel like you're in kindergarten learning to write cursive again. So really meditate on that feeling. Meditate on it through this whole call, after the call, every day of your life, because if you start making decisions in awareness of what's possible with that feeling, your whole life will start to change. You'll start doing a lot of things differently. Now, that's all well and good, right? How's it work? First of all, let's give a little background. Carbon Copy Pro was created in October of 2007 by Jay Kubasek and a group of elite internet marketers. Jay is a guy who, back 5 years prior to that, was selling mufflers at a Midas muffler shop in Kansas. He had been a bus driver. He had been a farmer. Kind of a, self-starter guy, always doing his own thing, but never made any real money, and dropped out of school in 8th grade. I mean, this guy, it's not Donald Trump, where he graduated from Wharton Business School and was kind of a shoo-in to go do some great things. Jay had to fight for it, but he discovered, after years of trial and error of kind of trying to get side businesses started, he landed on the internet, and he saw that there was a good timing and a good window of opportunity to learn the skills of the internet and do some things that he saw other people weren't doing in their home businesses. And bottom line, he just was right place, right time with the right brain and the right attitude. And he figured out how to leverage the internet for unbelievable results in home business. He did it for himself first, then he started teaching other people how to do it. It evolved into a website, a membership website called Carbon Copy Marketing, where you could just carbon copy Jay. And eventually it evolved into a community called Carbon Copy Pro, where not only Jay, but many other of the best internet marketers in the world are members of this community, constantly giving back to the community and sharing basically, this is what's working for me day to day on the front lines, and giving other people the ability to carbon copy it. And Carbon Copy Pro was actually started based on sort of a dare, a bet, if you will, that, hey, do you think we can create, it was between Jay and some of his marketers, do you think we could teach 100 people how to become online millionaires? That was the original genesis of Carbon Copy Pro, and that mission really, really carries through to this day, though the mission has certainly grown far beyond that. I can tell you on a personal level that my personal mission is to create 100 millionaires just myself within Carbon Copy Pro, so that gives you an idea of which the whole vision has scaled from that original idea. So we're now literally in over 200 countries, tens of thousands of people benefiting from Carbon Copy Pro's education and learning how to do what we do. So, what's the environment that this exists in, this Carbon Copy Pro opportunity? I'm getting some statistics here. According to MSNBC, small businesses are responsible for over 75% of the net new jobs created in the U.S. economy. 49% of the nation's businesses are now, this is amazing statistics, 49% of the nation's businesses are now run from home. And the number of Americans running businesses from home are 45.1 million just in the United States. So it's easier today than ever to start a home business. Obviously, a lot of the tools that Carbon Copy Pro is leveraging are being leveraged by lots of people in lots of industries. But the thing is, that really hasn't changed the statistics on how many of those businesses are actually going to be thriving 5 years after they started. Entrepreneurship is still tough. What Carbon Copy Pro has identified is a couple of key things that you have to be really successful. The first one, as I mentioned, is your product line. Not all product lines are created equal. You have got to market something that's in high demand. And let me add to that, something that's in high demand by a large number of people, not something that's so niche focused that, I had a guy on the phone the other day telling me that he wants to take the Carbon Copy Pro marketing education and apply it to his business, which is selling technology for building roof trusses. It's something that, contractors use when they're building the roof of a residential home. And I said, that's great, but how many people are really looking for that? Yeah, if you find the right guy and you can educate him on your product and get him sold on the idea that your truss technology is better than anything he's ever seen before, he might be interested in spending $10,000 on it to make his building business more efficient. But how many of those customers are out there, and how many of them are looking for you? How are you going to find them? There's got to be the right demand for your product. And if your product is information on how to leverage the internet to earn more money, you're not going to have any trouble finding people. That's about as ubiquitous. The demand for that is about as ubiquitous as like I said, anything except maybe for just food. The second thing is you've got to have a duplicatable marketing system that sells that product, because most of us cannot afford the learning curve of having to figure this all out from scratch. You need something that you can basically, like we say, carbon copy. And then finally, it all has to be structured in such a way that, for most of us to achieve what we're coming here for, it has to be structured in such a way that you not only earn commissions now, you not only earn income now on whatever you're selling, but there's also some sort of structured way that you can earn passive or residual or referral income, something where the income stream keeps going. Maybe you can take a day off, you can take a week off, or even 5 years from now you can retire altogether and keep getting paid. And that has to be built into the fundamentals of the pay plan. Most sales industries are structured like this, whether it's the mortgage industry, whether it's the insurance industry. It's a way to keep getting paid after you make the sale. So Carbon Copy Pro obviously, has put all that together in a way that we feel is the best combination in the world. Let's talk about what that is. First of all, the product. That's where we started. Not all online products are created equal. Very important to understand. I personally have been doing this for almost 3 years, and as you can imagine, once you get to where you're known as being halfway decent in this business, people start hitting you up and soliciting you and trying to show you their latest thing, and everybody wants, everybody thinks their thing is the best thing, right? And, I swear I've seen probably 500 different online business models and online products that are marketed online. I think out of 500, I think that one of them actually intrigued me enough one time that I thought, maybe I should market that. And that lasted for about 2 hours. Literally, I don't believe anything holds a candle to what we have here, because frankly, if it did, we would switch. We're equal opportunity here. We're all here for the lifestyle and the income opportunity and what it does for our families and what it does for our lives and our time. We're not here because we're, fanatically in love with any one product. So if there was something better, trust me, we would know about it and we'd be doing it. Let's talk about what the product line is. Obviously, that we believe is the most lucrative for being marketed online. Carbon Copy Pro is partnered with a product line called ProU. ProU is basically an e-learning company that produces educational content for entrepreneurs, small business owners, marketers, and it's aligned with some of the top, really big name business minds in the world, guys like David Bach, Simon Sinek, Marshall Goldsmith, Frank Wagner. These are guys that get paid, 6 and 7 figures to come in and consult with Fortune 500 companies. Everyone I just named is a best-selling author. For example, David Bach has written 10 New York Times national bestsellers. He's the number 2 best-selling personal finance author of all time. He's been on Oprah 7 times, and he's a professor in ProU. He's created content exclusive to ProU that teaches ProU members how to, implement the things that he teaches: personal finance strategies, business strategies, marketing strategies, and so forth. So it's a product line that has a huge amount of built-in credibility because of the people associated with it. Bottom line, no fly-by-night organization is going to get guys like David Bach and Simon Sinek to even be photographed in their vicinity, much less put their name on it and say, yes, I'm a proud ProU professor. So we market this ProU product line, and we have a series of ProU memberships that really do what you need to do online, which is offer something for everyone. ProU has individual courses, and ProU has a line of memberships. And what it gives us is a product line that ranges all the way from It's $400 on the low end to all the way up to $40,000 for the Pro U Black membership, which includes, private, intimate mastermind retreats with the Pro U professors and exotic international destinations, and there's all points in between. So by having a product line that runs the gamut, there's something in it for everyone, whether it's the guy who, has been laid off and has, maybe $1,000 to try to start over with. You can show that person, here's how you get started. Here's, you buy this course. It's going to teach you this, and, your goal is to reach this goal and kind of build and work your way up. And sure, it's going to be a longer path, but it's doable. But at the same time, you have the guy who, let's say it was me 5 years prior, and I hadn't invested all that money stupidly in those franchises, and I had found this instead. I could have said, hey, this makes sense. $40,000. That's a heck of a lot cheaper than a sandwich shop for $300,000. And those people are out there too. So and then of course, there's different points in between. So it's a really diverse product line, and that's the key online. Most of the products that people will try to tell you should sell online, they suffer from a lack of high value, high ticket price points. And you can go to websites like commissionjunction.com and clickbank.com and see that the internet is just littered with these products, these $20, $50 products. I mean, how many $50 products do you have to sell to make $1 million? I mean, seriously. And it's having a diversity in your product line that really allows you to build incomes quickly, because you can make, if you have a product that pays a $5,000 commission, you can make a six-figure income with 2 sales a month. Whereas, obviously, there's just not room for that many people to make that much money selling $20 products. So how do you market this? I mean, it's great to have products that pay big commissions, but how do you actually market it in a way that reaches people, reaches the right people, and gets them interested in, that cuts through the clutter of all that other knick-knacky stuff I was just talking about and actually gets them interested in what you're doing? Well, Carbon Copy Pro is this sort of living, breathing organism of websites, advertisements, banner ads, all the stuff that you'll learn about, autoresponder, follow-ups. And the cool thing is, by having a lot of the best marketers in the world all sharing the same system and the same resources, everything in Carbon Copy Pro is constantly being tested literally 1 million times a day. So it's a feedback mechanism that always makes the system better. And as soon as you go off and try to do it on your own, then you're on your own. And if you test 5 things a day, you test 5 things a day. If you test 1 thing a week, you test 1 thing a week. But if you're using the Carbon Copy Pro system, you're benefiting from what tens of thousands of people around the world are doing. And the system is constantly getting better, in 1%, 1 basis point intervals, but it's happening millions of times a day. So the system as a whole, they say a rising tide raises all boats. So when you come to market Carbon Copy Pro, you're getting the best websites, the best advertising copy, the best graphics, the best of everything, because it's always getting better. And everyone's getting to leverage the same stuff. So that's how we can say confidently that there's no better system in the world, because we're literally tackling the challenge of making it the best system in the world. Like I said, tens of hundreds of thousands of times every single day, and constantly tweaking it and improving it. And it gives the new person the ability to step in and be leveraging a system that's got millions of dollars of intellectual property and millions of hours of human capital tied up into building it and making it the best. So your ads are going to attract people. Your websites are going to convert. That your copy is going to entice people. That your product is going to deliver value to people. It's standing on the shoulders of giants. Now let's talk about the actual sale. People see the ad, people see the website, people come in. First of all, let's be real transparent about something. Nobody likes selling. Nobody likes getting on the phone and having to sell anything. You can learn to like it. I did after a while, but it's not anything that anybody's naturally in love with. So but at the same time, we also know that nobody's going to make any money if no products are ever sold. And people that are looking to buy a product, looking to invest in an opportunity, people that are looking at something, they want to talk to someone. So, there's nothing wrong with getting on the phone and helping people answer their questions and decide if something is right for them or not, but a lot of us don't want to do it because it feels like we're selling something. So where Pro steps in is not just with all the online assets, the banners and the websites and the emails and that stuff, but we actually have a built-in call center of professional business coaches who will call your prospects for you. And we actually have a program called the Marketing Partner Program where those top marketers in the world, those guys that have earned 7 figures and multiple 7 figures online using the Carbon Copy Pro system, they will actually step in and close your sales for you. They'll make the call. You can make the call too if you want, just to build a relationship. But between the Carbon Copy Pro business coaches and the Carbon Copy Pro marketing partners, you've got expert, veteran, online salespeople with huge track records and huge credibility actually making calls on your behalf. And you have calls like this one that you can invite people to or that they can invite people to where you're not having to explain the business because, someone like me is explaining the business 4 nights a week or the marketing partners calling and explaining, doing a live webinar presentation. So we're really taking you out of it from a hands-on sales perspective. That's obviously a huge asset to most people, not only because a lot of people aren't that comfortable with thinking of themselves as selling, but also because a lot of us just don't have the time. We're still working a day job. Somebody comes into opts into one of our websites and sends us an email that says, hey, I'm interested, but I want to chat about this. Are you free tomorrow at 2 o'clock? They're a stay-at-home mom. They are. You're not. You got a job. You're on a job at that time. You can't talk to them. Well, don't worry about it. You're covered because you can refer them to a business coach. You can refer them to the marketing partner. Now, let's talk about the actual dollars. I talked about the Carbon Copy Pro funded proposal. Well, the funded proposal, or what I call the self-funded solution, and then I talked about the sort of the diversity of price points in the funnel, whether it's a $400 product or a $10,000 product and so forth. The key to really making money online is having something for everyone. Because you're going to get 1,000 people, to look at your website. But only 10 of them maybe actually looking to invest any real money in a business. And if you're banking on just that 10 to build your business, you may win, you may lose. But if you have different levels of product and different offers for everyone, that appeal to more people, you've got a lot more opportunity to develop multiple income streams, limit your downside risk. So the Carbon Copy Pro funnel is a very sophisticated mechanism that brings people through different stages and allows people to land wherever they're comfortable landing. And a lot of us have seen this in action already. Just to get to this call, we know that there's an application process. So this is fundamental to the business and I can say from personal experience, I will never, ever, 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 1,000 times over, ever talk to someone who has not applied to join me in this business. Meaning they've already showed a willingness to invest a little bit of money in themselves. They've already shown that they're serious. They've already shown that they, frankly have a credit card that's got at least $20 or $30 or $40 worth of room on it. They're a legitimate candidate for the business. As soon as you go out online, the first thing you have to understand is there's 2 billion people out there with you. And if they think that you might have a way to make money, they want to talk to you. They want to call you. They want to know about it. You don't have time. You don't have time to talk. With all the best intentions of the world, there's only 168 hours in a week. You got to eat. You got to sleep. You can't talk to everyone. So we have this built-in application process that's fundamental to the business, creates your first income stream, allows the serious people to qualify themselves, and it's mandatory. Nobody gets to join Pro that hasn't been through an application process. We'll talk more about that. Then you have the Carbon Copy Pro Black Box, which we're going to talk more about, which is literally your business in a box. It's everything that Jay and his team of marketers and all the top marketers since then, for the last 5 years have learned, synthesized, and consolidated into a nice, pretty black box that physically gets, physically contains all the information, and then along with a back office that you can literally log into. It's a lot of you that work at big companies. You have, company intranets. It's similar to that. It's a shared online space that everyone logs into and gets, training, video presentations, documents. You set up your website. Everything's housed in one place. It's a multi-million-dollar system that none of us obviously would ever go out and build on our own, but like I said, stand on the shoulders of giants. You get to leverage this, and you get access to that with your black box and the monthly Carbon Copy Pro membership. So that's one product. That's another income stream. From there, you have different things you can offer, but certainly we recommend this Pro U product line that I talked about, which has a $2,000 level, a $10,000 level, a $20,000 level, a $40,000 level, and obviously those create very very powerful income possibilities depending on where people land at the different levels, and getting comfortable that your goal is not to get people to buy more stuff. Your goal is to get people to do what's right for them. When I joined this business, the guy on the other end of the line, my sponsor in the business, my mentor, his name is Michael. He's one of the top earners, mega top earners guys you see on the web. And he didn't try to twist my arm and say, you need to spend more. He said, look, where are you? What's your situation? What do you have? Here's how the pay plan works. If you want this, you're going to need to do this. And if you really want this, then that's fine. But be honest with yourself that if you really want this, you're going to have to do at least this. Don't tell me that you want to make $1 million in the next 6 months, but that you have a $500 budget to market with online. If you have a $500 budget to market with online, that's fine, but let's be realistic about your goal. The point is, the Carbon Copy Pro training and the Carbon Copy Pro resources are going to give you vastly superior results with whatever your budget is than you would get if you went out and tried to do this on your own. That's really the concept. So with that, folks, I'd like to hear. I've kind of been talking up a storm here about how this all works and what we do. But let's hear, from some people who might be on the line with us about if this stuff that Jeff is talking about actually amounts to anything. Is there anyone on the line who would like to jump out and share?
Brian from New York. In Florida.
All right. I heard two gentlemen. I heard a Brian, and then I heard Florida, which I assume was a location and not a name.
Dr. Charlie in Florida.
Dr. Charlie. Okay, cool. I'll tell you what, let's start with Brian, and then we'll go to Dr. Charlie.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing? Can you hear me okay?
I am. I certainly can, man. How are you?
I've never been better. Appreciate the opportunity to share. About a year and a half ago, my wife and I, we were kind of at the end of our rope. We had done a lot of things that you talked about tonight. We had looked at, it seems like, just an infinite amount of products. We had spent over $30,000 on a variety of products, programs, business opportunities, everything from traditional MLM to you name it, to affiliate marketing, and here's what happened. Nearly 2 years of our life and over 30 grand, we decided we were not happy. In fact, we were just, like I said, at the end of a rope, because here's what we wanted, Jeff. We just wanted one thing. We wanted results. We wanted something that just worked. And you being my sponsor, so my wife and I are so appreciative of exactly what you talked about tonight, about, putting yourself out there, carbon copying the leader. And you know what? We saw we saw you having amazing success. We saw some of the other people also having amazing success. We plugged in to Pro. Our life has radically changed for the better. I've left pharmaceuticals. I had a very successful career in pharmaceuticals for nearly 10 years, working from home or from the car, from the ski lift, because we were able to move slopeside to a ski resort within a year of getting the Pro business started. I could just go on and on about the community, about the products, about the quality of leadership from people like yourself and from Michael and from so many other people here. The Carbon Copy Pro system is nothing short of miraculous in our life, and we thank God for Carbon Copy Pro.
Well, Carbon Copy Pro, not to be cheesy, but Carbon Copy Pro, thanks God for you too, Brian. Seriously, man, it's been a joy to watch you, watch you blossom here. So thanks so much for sharing. your story. And then we had a gentleman, Dr. Charlie in Florida.
Hey, Jeff. Yes, I sure am from Florida. My story is I was a very successful surgeon for many years, had a nice practice, loved it. I might just mention the way I got to be such a good surgeon was I went after the top training in the world. I decided when I wanted to be a surgeon that I wanted to train with the best people, the other best surgeons in the world, so that I could be one of the top surgeons. And I did that, and I practiced for many years. So I retired. My wife and I moved to Florida, our dream state. We bought a dream home. We had a nice little nest egg and invested heavily in real estate. About 12 years later, when the real estate market collapsed in Florida, so did our retirement, and we lost pretty much everything we had. So at the tender age of 73 and a half, I was looking for a way to survive financially. And my options were not great because my skills, as valuable as they had been, were no longer as valuable at age 73. So I went online. I'd heard that the Internet is where things are happening. I wanted to check it out. I saw that Internet marketers were doing extremely well. But I had two issues. I didn't know anything about the Internet, and I didn't know anything about marketing. So I found a company. I checked out several. I looked at many MLMs and many others, and I stumbled across Carbon Copy Pro. I saw an ad. It made sense to me. I believed what the fellow in the ad was telling me, whose name was Jeff Lerner. And I responded to it, and I plugged into the system, and I moved forward with it, and I did exactly what they showed me to do. And they said that they could teach me how to market on the Internet. So I did that, and apparently they never got the memo that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and they just went ahead and did it anyway. So I did learn the system. I've been very successful at it. I've been doing this for 16 months now. I'm considered one of the best Internet marketers in the world today, and that's not said to brag on me. That's said to brag on my mentor and the system and Carbon Copy Pro that they had set up that made it work for me. It's like painting by the numbers. So I am just thrilled to be part of this. Yes, this is for real. The people are people of integrity. They're telling you the truth. And I'm thrilled that I found it, and it literally saved me. So I agree with Brian. Thank God that I found Carbon Copy Pro too.
Well, I appreciate it, Dr. Charlie. Yeah, at 75 years old, you're a lot more than just a 75-year-old man, but you know the power that age carries. I mean, you really inspire a lot of people as to what's possible for them, because you're not only one of our success stories, you're literally one of the best in the business, and it's just amazing to see. Thanks for sharing. Do we have anyone else on the line?
DJ from Texas. Can you hear me? It's Sophia in Colorado.
All right, we have I heard of Texas and a lady in Colorado. Let's get a female perspective here.
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for having me out. It's Sophia. My husband, Aaron, and I, we both have very different backgrounds. He was a personal trainer, and I was a real estate broker. And we got into a traditional MLM business together so that we could stay at home with our two boys, our 10-year-old and our 3-year-old. And we were taught how to contact and make a list of our friends and family who had no interest in our business or our product. We did hotel meetings. We passed out CDs and brochures. We did hundreds of cold calls on a daily basis, and we did a lot of home parties. And after 5 years of building that traditional MLM together, we were burned out. Our team wasn't able to duplicate anything that we were doing. We were buying product to stock in our basement, buying product so that we could qualify for our commission check. And there was a lot of fallout and attrition, and we don't want to do that anymore. After our second son was born, he was 4 months old, and I said, let's look online and find out how people are making money online. Knowing that we didn't have any online business skills and that we only knew how to check email and surf the web, it was very intimidating at first, but we knew that if we wanted to be at home with our boys and have that life of a home with a home business, we were going to have to stretch ourselves and do some different things. So we found Carbon Copy Pro and got started right away with it. We got an application and bought a black box and started plugging right in. We set up our system, copied everything the top leaders told us to do. We copied the system to a T. And in our second month, we made our first $5,400. Our fourth month, we made a little over $11,000. And by our fifth month, we had made our first $40,000 in a month. And that was the kind of income that we would make in a year, not in a month. So it was life-changing for us to see where it was all going. We've been with the community now for 2.5 years. We've made a very good 7-figure income. We are at home with our boys. And we travel the world with our nanny and do whatever we want, whenever we want with our 2 boys. It's been life-changing to be able to do that, as well as assist many others in the community in developing their first and making their first dollar to their first $100, and then some of them many of them have gone on to make 4 figures, 5 figures, and even 6 figures in one single month. And to see their lives change and have their time freedom, that is one of the most rewarding parts of being part of this community and in this business. So with that, I'll turn it back to you.
Thanks, Sophia, so much for sharing. You guys, you and your husband Aaron have such an amazing story. Again, like Dr. Charlie said, these stories are not so much, a testament to the people within the story, although obviously it takes a lot of work and commitment to make this happen. It's the system that's taking ordinary people and turning them into extraordinary success stories and helping people overcome tremendous obstacles. It's just really powerful. Thank you so much, Sophia, for sharing. I know we had a gentleman from Texas, but I think in the interest of time, I'd like to take some questions. We've got about 10 minutes here on the line, and I'd like to get some questions answered. Now, if you're on the line and you have a question, first of all, I guess, do we have an operator on the line?
Good evening, sir. This is the conference operator.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe it's *0 for anyone who wants to come out and ask a question. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. So, folks, if you have a question, I'm happy. I can answer any question within this parameter. These questions are for people that are looking at Carbon Copy Pro. If you're new to the system, if you're an applicant, then feel free to ask me anything you want. If you're already a Carbon Copy Pro member, then as you know, there are 20-plus live trainings, different live trainings that we do where you can get all those questions answered. You also have a marketing partner. You got crumbs in your hair. Hey, guys, if you're on the line on the moderator pen, if you could mute up. And if you, so if you're a member, you know that there's lots of other places between support, marketing partner, and live trainings where you can get those questions answered. So if you're new to the system and want to know something, press *0, and the operator's going to take your question. While we're getting the questions teed up, I want to make sure everyone knows where we go from here. You're listening to the call, you're hearing how everything works. If you're ready to do this, what you need to do is go to carboncopypro.com, CARBONCOPYPRO.com, and you're going to log in where it says applicant login. You're going to log in with the email address that you've been receiving emails on related to Carbon Copy Pro. Whatever email address you've been getting emails at, probably your primary email address, you need to log in with that email address, and it's going to help you go forward. If you've applied, it's going to take you right to the next step of being able to get started. If you have not applied yet, remember what I said. Everyone has to apply. It's fundamental to the system, so it'll take you to that step. Now, that said, operator, do we have any questions?
Thank you, sir. The first question comes from Steve. Steve, go ahead.
Hi, Jeff. This is Steve in Maryland, and I've just found your website and applied. Got an application and got supposed to be called by one of the sponsors tomorrow. And so I'm not. Can you sell everything on this site? Anything and everything? Or I did see one thing where it said wellness products, aging products, health products. Can you, once you set it up, are you permitted to sell anything that's legal?
Yeah, I'm glad you clarified anything that's legal.
Yeah.
You're an entrepreneur, and this is a system that gives you tools to assist you in being an entrepreneur. It's not a system that, comes in and tries to micromanage you and tell you what to do. So yeah, theoretically, in principle, you can use internet marketing skills to market anything. People do it all the time on the web, right?
Right.
That said, most people aren't coming in here going, I want to have a la-di-da fun time marketing 10 different things. Most people are coming in here looking for guidance to say what works, what's powerful, what are the people that are already millionaires, what are they doing, and how can I simply copy them and keep it simple. KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid. That's how good systems are built. And what Carbon Copy Pro does is certainly give you options, but recommend that, frankly, you don't take them. Because at the end of the day, most of the people in this community that are generating, let's say, anything upwards of $10,000 a month are doing it with one single product line. That's just the cold, hard reality. So as much as people come in with dreams of, liquidating their old baseball card collection out of their attic or selling grandma's recipes and turning it into their own cookbook that sells 1 million copies, whatever, that's all great. Once you're a master entrepreneur, you can do that.
Right.
To get started, keep it simple and do what we recommend. That's just my personal advice, and that's going to be the ProU product line.
And is that product line now, I guess I'll find out more, but is that the wellness and health field?
No. The ProU product line is what I talked about earlier. It's e-learning with for business owners and entrepreneurs. It's basically courses that teach business education online, and it's packaged in different membership levels. There's 4 membership levels: silver, gold, platinum, and black, that have different price points. It's that whole product line I talked about, the online education product line. Because the thing is, it's a digital product, so you don't have to have inventory sitting on your shelves. You're partnered with mainstream, name brand, celebrity educators, guys that are on TV, guys that have best-selling books. So you're not having to fight this credibility battle and convince people that your product is real and legitimate, and that they're actually going to get paid if they sign up. There's just a lot of reasons why the ProU product line kind of stomps everything else in the marketplace. Because frankly, if it didn't, a lot of us would go market something else. So anyway, great questions. I really appreciate your question. Let's move on to the next one. Operator, do we have another one?
Next question comes from Richard. Richard, go ahead.
Yeah, Jeff, a great presentation, and I really appreciate what you're explaining to us. But I'm a little just slightly confused as to whether or not you're selling education as to how to market products on the internet, as opposed to are you specifically recommending a product line that you all endorse to actually go ahead and market and promote? So it's a twofold question. Is there something that you all really believe in and promote, or can I go ahead and, let's just say, in my line of work, which is real estate, can I go ahead and utilize some of the formulas that you have in your marketing portfolio to go ahead and market some of the things that I need? In other words, let me rephrase that question. Is the social media that we have experienced today, can I utilize what you have to help me market some of my own products?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I hear your question loud and clear, and it's kind of the same answer as the previous question's answer, which is, the broad answer is yes. This is internet marketing education. We're going to teach you how to market online. You can run with that in any direction you want. Real estate's a prime example. I mean, whether it's, I used to deal in that space. I mean, there's all kinds of web-based, Zillow, Trulia, ActiveRain, which is a real estate blogging community where you could get a ton of traction using the stuff that Carbon Copy Pro teaches. But at the end of the day, I make more money than any realtor I know. And I say that to make the point. All the top earners here do this using the same product line. So it's, we're not going to try to control you or tell you what you have to do, but you're here to carbon copy the pros, right? The pros are all marketing ProU. They're not using this to sell real estate. They might use it to buy real estate with their extra money, But the pros that make, literally make millions of dollars online, we do it in this system using a carbon copy system that sells the Pro U product line. And
what is the Pro U product line?
Well, I spent about 15, 20 minutes explaining it earlier on the call. It's online education for marketers and entrepreneurs. It's a series of memberships with content by professors like David Bach, Simon Sinek. These are, world-class best-selling authors who have created online courses that teach you business skills. And you can go to ProU.co. That's probably the fastest way to really understand the ProU product line. Go to ProU.co, PROU.co. And again, there's courses there that you could take the Pro Sales course, you can take the Pro Service course, the Pro Leadership course, and these are courses that you could take and apply to your real estate business with dramatic effect. But at the end of the day, if you want to transform your income and transform your lifestyle, I'm not going to tell you, we'll go take the Pro Sales course and sell an extra house or two a month. I'm going to tell you, check out the Pro U memberships and use the Carbon Copy Pro system to sell them, because that's what all the big owners do. But it's always going to be your decision. That's the joy of being your own boss. Right. So with that, folks, I promised you a promotion, something special as a treat for being on this call. Here's what I want you to do. I mentioned going to carboncopypro.com. That hasn't changed. Go to carboncopypro.com and log in with whatever email address you've been using to this point. And if you have not applied yet, you'll need to apply. If you have applied, you'll be able to go right to purchasing your black box to get started. I want to give you a discount code. This is going to give you the opportunity to save $100 off of your black box. But the catch is, what time is it now? It's 9 p.m. Eastern time, I believe. I'm in Mountain, so it's 9 p.m. Eastern time. You have 3 hours to use this code. It expires at midnight tonight. So you basically have 3 hours to, soul search, pray, talk to your wife, talk to your husband, talk to your, priest, whoever you got to talk to make these big life decisions. I mean, granted, it's only a couple $100 we're talking. But obviously it's more than that. It's time, it's emotional energy, it's commitment, it's passion, it's a new direction for your life. If you want to save $100, 3 hours to get that due diligence done. And when you're going through the checkout process to purchase the black box, I want everyone get your pen and paper and write this down. It's a very simple promo code that's going to save you $100. It's Plan 156. That's PLAN, Plan 156. And go to carboncopypro.com, use that code, save $100 by midnight Eastern time tonight. And with that, folks, whatever direction you head from this call, I've enjoyed the time here getting to share. I love hearing people come out and talk about their stories. That's what makes this business just so amazing, is the stories. It's a people business, and it's real. I mean, it's real people's lives transforming. We want you to be one of them, but that only happens if you take action. So go to carboncopypro.com, get started, be on the phone with a business coach in the next 24 hours, taking the first steps towards the rest of your life. With that, folks, everyone make it a great night, and we'll see you on this call at the same time tomorrow. Take care.
Call it networking,
Affiliate marketing,
direct selling,
referral marketing.
call it whatever you want. It's already a $100 billion a year business.
A business that you can do part-time or full-time and can be started at home with no large capital outlay, low overhead, no employees, and no special business expertise or technical skills. A business that allows you to work your hours for your goals.
A business that offers time freedom, financial freedom, and a franchise-like step-by-step business plan. And according to most experts, a home-based business offers incredible tax advantages.
What are you waiting for?
Think e-commerce is going away?
Statistics show that 96% of adults ages 25 to 44 are looking to own their own business.
The only question is, are you ready?
Are you tired of being passed up for promotions, tired of commuting, tired of the rat race?
Are you ready to work your own hours? Take a vacation when you want to, not when they let you.
Drive the car you've always dreamed about, not the one you can afford.
Live where you want to live, not where your job puts you.
Retire in style, not on a shoestring.
So my rich dad said, in the world of business, there's E's. And E's stand for employees. An employee, he says, you can always tell who they are by their core values. And what the employee, whether the president or the janitor of the company, will always say the same words. The words are, I'm looking for a safe, secure job with benefits. That's what makes them an employee, because their core values are security. The other one of the four is the S, or the small business owner or the self-employed. And again, their core values will cause them to use the same words, which are, if you want it done right, do it by yourself. S means they're also solo. They're generally one-person act, or they operate by themselves. On the right side of the quadrant are the B's. And what Rich Dad said the B stood for was big business, or like Bill Gates. Forbes defines big business as 500 employees or more. And their words are different. They say, I'm looking for a good system, a good network, and the smartest people I know to help run my business. So they're unlike the S. They don't want to run the company by themselves. They want smart people to run their companies for them. And then the fourth of the quadrant is the I, and I stands for investor. These are people who have money work hard for them. These people are people who have people work hard for them. And these are the people that work hard for the rich here. So early on in my life, it was my poor dad who always said to me, you know, Robert, go to school and so get a high-paying job. And so my poor dad's core value was to be an employee. He wanted job security, promotions, a steady paycheck, and all this. And so it was my rich dad who said to me, he says, you know, Robert, if you really want to be rich, learn to build businesses. It made more sense to him to work hard to build a business, something you owned, and something you could pass on for generation to generation to your kids. Whereas my poor dad said, work hard, but my rich dad said, why would you work hard for something you'll never own and you can get fired from right away? Again, that was the difference in values. So my rich dad suggested I learn how to be a business owner and learn how to be an investor. And that's one of the big differences. On this side of the quadrant, these people here work for security. They work for money also. On this side over here, their key value that they want is they want freedom.